Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. So we'll chant the first verse, the prayer verse of this book. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Drik Tad-Drishyam Driktu Manasam Drishyadi Vrittaya Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate. You can also go to verse 12 and chant that. Manoham krityupadanam lingam ekam jadatmakam avastatrayam anveti jayate mriyate tatha. So, we had seen in the last session, ahankara, the I sense, when it is fully awake in the waking state, it is the doer and the experiencer of the results of action. In the waking state, it is fully awake, the I sense. In the dream state, it is half awake. So you create a dream ahankara and you experience the dream through that I sense in the dream. It's a different I sense. It could be a different persona. And in the deep sleep state, we saw ahankara is fully resolved. There's no I sense at all in the deep sleep state. You're not aware of your own body. You're not aware of anything in the deep sleep state, in fact. So I is totally resolved. But we saw the logic that is given in the text that you are still alive. You are still there. You are still living. And something is there, obviously enlivening the body. Pranas are functioning, definitely. But what makes the pranas themselves function? That is what we've been seeing. Sakshi. Everything comes back to the final drik. Sakshi Chaitanyam, pure witness consciousness. So, there's going to be a topic change now, sudden topic change. He's going to go from this ahankara to what is God. So, big change. But why does Shastra do this? We will see that. First of all, let us finish the topic where he talks about what happens about birth and death. What happens? Is it Atma that dies? Is it Atma that's reborn? It cannot be Atma because it is birthless, it is deathless. When people say the soul has left the body, it is not really, the right translation. The soul cannot leave anywhere. If it's all pervasive, it cannot leave anywhere. But something has left. So this is what he says in this verse, Ekam Lingam Jadatmakam. So there is something, it is called the subtle body. We've seen this also. It is the subtle body, the 17 components of the subtle body which were given in Tattva Bodha. It is like a reflecting medium, manifesting medium for consciousness. And that is what pervades the physical body for every human being. Every sentient being has a subtle body. That is the difference between sentience and insentience. We saw that also. So he says here, the mind itself is inert. It is totally jadatmakam. It is inert. There is no life to it. Like the moon does the moon have shine on its own? No, it does not. It borrows the sunshine. It borrows the light of the sun. In the same way, the subtle body is the invisible body behind the visible, live, physical body, and this is called lingam. Lingam actually represents this, the subtle behind the gross, that the form of a lingam is that as well. When you worship a Shiva lingam, you're not worshipping a round egg-like thing, you're invoking the invisible in the visible, actually. So the subtle body, we know, consists of the 5 organs of knowledge, which are the 5 sense organs, the 5 organs of action, and the pancha pranas, 5 pranas, buddhi and manaha in the model. This is the subtle body. Lingyate anena iti linga sharira. This lingam means by which things are understood by a human being. This subtle body is what gives me understanding of this world. Without the subtle body, I cannot understand anything. Knowledge cannot take place, right? Gross body is inert by nature. So it is a subtle body that helps the knowledge to take place of the external world. And this linga sharira in this model is 2 vrittis only, 2 thought forms. He split everything up into 2 thought forms. What is that? Aham vritti, I thought, and idam vritti, everything else. That is all we experience in life, I and everything else. The whole thing can be split into 2. And I experience through the I vritti, through the I sense, I experience everything. I know my sense powers. I know how my organs of action function. But what we have discovered is that both aham vritti, idam vritti are both also jadatmakam, because they belong to the linga sharira, the subtle body. Subtle body by nature is inert. So the thoughts itself are inert. I thought that is given so much importance is actually inert thought. It is nothing. It is livened up by consciousness alone. So he says here, manaha, ahankriti, upadanam. This mind, the material for the mind is only 2 things, thoughts and egos. Ego. Thought and your ego, that is all there is. And here, the linga sharira, what happens on birth? This is what enters the physical body on birth. When a child is, a fetus is there, they say generally in Shastra, the Simantam, there is a function, we have seen this in South India especially, is celebrated 7th month of the birth, pregnancy, 7th month of pregnancy, a special ritual is done, special puja is done. This is also considered the time where the jiva enters, the subtle body enters the fetus during that time. And from that time, that is where prarabdha starts. Prarabdha starts even in the womb. Because we find, stillbirths, all these miscarriages, all of this. How is that explained? Shastra explains that through prarabdha, only prarabdha meaning that jiva in that particular form only had that much life left. It had that much prarabdha in that form. So it had to exhaust. It's called prarabdha lesha. It hadn't exhausted everything in purva janma. It had to go through that in this janma as well. So anyway, this is what happens. This is the way that the Shastra has explained. The subtle body enters the physical body on birth, and the human being, we call it life. Human child is born. Jayate mriyate. It is born, it lives for a length of time, and it dies off. So what is this living for a length of time? How do we understand living? It is living, meaning manifest with consciousness. Manifest consciousness through the physical body we call life. So all that is happening is that consciousness is manifesting in the physical body. And it resolves when the reflecting medium, the sukshma sharira leaves, we call it death. At the time of death, only the physical body is destroyed. We have to understand this very clearly. Only the physical body is destroyed. It goes to the cremation gut, or it goes to underground. But in Sanskrit, dehaha means dahana yogyatvam. Even the word for physical body is interesting. The 2 words for physical body that we usually use, dehaha, which means dahana yogyatvam, which means that which is fit for burning. The actual word for physical body means that which is fit for burning. Sharira. So sharira also means that which will destruct, or it will disintegrate. That which disintegrates is sharira. These are the 2 words used for physical body. And this is what happens. Mriyate, jayate, mriyate. And when does a person mriyate? When does a person pass on or pass off? When the prarabdha karma is over, not 1 second you can remain in the body. When your prarabdha is exhausted, the time clock, when you're born, it is like Bhagavan has, you see those sand clocks, those timers, you turn them. Bhagavan has turned your clock. From the moment you take breath in this world, your time has begun. Already countdown. Countdown has begun. We don't know what time we have. So until the sand runs out, the reflecting consciousness will be there. The consciousness will be reflecting. But when the sand runs out, when the prarabdha karma is finished, that is when the sukshma departs. Who decides? Bhagavan decides. That is order. That is Ishvara's order. It is not under my control. I cannot decide when I to leave the body unless I have some yogic powers. Yogis can decide the time of death. They have the power to decide when to leave the form, but we're not all yogis, and most people are just sucked out. Yama, that's why I say Lord Yama with his dutas comes and says bye-bye, say tata, bye-bye to everybody. And, maybe sometimes we don't even have time to say tata, bye-bye. He just takes us on, and then what? Jayate. Jayate means Sukshma Sharira comes back into a different body. So you are recycled. You never go. We don't know what womb we're going to come into next. So that is what life is. Womb to tomb, womb to tomb. So consciousness manifests again, and your Sukshma is reborn in another physical body. So this is what he says in this verse. The subtle body anveti goes through also avastatrayam. It is a subtle body that goes through the 3 states of experience. We saw that waking, dream, and sleep. Along with the ahankara, the subtle body is what is needed to go through the 3 states of experience. And we saw especially examining the deep sleep state, which was very interesting, that it is absence of all experience. You witness the absence of all experience. You experience the absence, you experience no experience. That is what is called sleep. But the world continues. The world doesn't die off, but you are dead to the world. There is no subject-object division. There is no knowledge that can take place in deep sleep. Deep sleep is like nirvikalpa samadhi. You're totally joyful there, but you don't even know it. So you're in Anandatmaya Kosha. You don't know it, but you know when you come out because you don't want to come out. So this is the deep sleep. Maya nidra sukhena. You say that as well. Maya nidra sukhena dukhena anubhuyate. Sleep was happily experienced by me, or sleep was not so happily experienced by me. Somebody asks you, you know that. Of course, you won't be able to say the Sanskrit sentence, but you say it in English. No, I didn't sleep well. I didn't sleep well. You know, because you were there. You were there in the deep sleep, and as witness consciousness, you were there as well. And you loved that experience because all your roles problems, you're dead to all your roles problems. All the problems of the waking state, what happens in the deep sleep state? Forgotten. No problems at all. No experience of problems, no attachments, no worry of children. So much attachment we have in the waking state, worrying over family, worrying over kids, worrying over father, mother, all these attachments we have. What happens in deep sleep state? Nothing. There's no attachment at all. We don't know what's happened to them. Yet, you are in bliss. You are totally with awareness there. There's no individuality, no sense of limitation. Your limitless self in deep sleep, called Prajnaha by the Shastra. Prajna is the name given to Jiva in deep sleep state. So with this, he finishes the topic of Ahankara. We've examined this I sense quite a bit, understanding these thoughts of this I sense and how other thoughts in the mind work. But in the great equation of Tattvamasi, if you remember, these are called Mahavakyas in the Shastra. You are that. You are that. That is all that is said. And that you are that takes a lifetime to unfold. Upanishads, there are 4 great sayings in all the Vedas. Aham Brahmasmi, you are that Brahmanya, that pure limitless consciousness. I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. All the 4 Vedas have these short equations. And what does the equation reveal? It reveals your oneness with the Lord, your oneness with divinity, your oneness with consciousness. So here we have seen only one side of the equation. Tattvamasi, we've only seen Tvam. You as a jiva, you as an individual we've seen. But wholeness means one more factor has to figure in, right? One more factor has to come into the picture if I want to discover that equation. Tat. What is that then? You are that. So I have to inquire, what is that? Only then the equation is complete. And that is very difficult to understand because it can be anything. If I turn to somebody on the street, if I say, you are that, and they turn around and look at a cow, that it could refer to a cow. It could refer to anything. We don't know, right? So that has to be very, very, it is very cryptic, Upanishad sayings. That's why it needs a lot of unfoldment. It's very difficult to understand also, Tat-Tvamasi. If you are a child, for unprepared mind, it is difficult. So that is why mental preparation becomes very important to understand the grand equation. It is like any mathematical equation actually. Two sides. What is an equation? Two sides of an equation reveal non-difference, right? That's why it's called equation. Two sides of an equation reveal non-difference. So if I tell you 5 plus 4 equals 108 minus 99, how does it look on the outside? On one side you have 5 plus 4. On one side you have 108 minus 99. For a child, it will be very confusing. Plus sign on this side, minus sign on this side. But if you understand the truth, what is the truth? Both sides equal 9. Otherwise, the equal sign cannot come there. So 5 plus 4 equals 9. 108 minus 99 equals 9. Is there really a difference? That is the question. Visually, they look entirely different, definitely. The same way, Tat-Tvamasi, visually, externally, outwardly, how can I be equated to the Lord? That is the question that comes. How can small me, jiva, limited me, small, non-knowing, I don't know anything, I'm inadequate, be equated to that omniscient Lord, that Lord of the universe, the creator of all that is here? How can that be? And that is the crux of Vedanta. You to discover that seemingly outward differences don't matter. On closer examination, when vichara is done, you are Ishvara. By nature, Ishvara's nature is the same as the jiva's nature. There is non-difference, even though outwardly, like the mathematical equation, it looks different. And the problem is what? You know you are. I know I am, but I don't know what I am. That is the whole confusion in life. I know I exist, but I don't know what I am. I take myself to be a limited individual. I take myself to be the body, mind, and senses. And all the problems of the body become my problems. All the problems of the mind become my problems. And I suffer. I go up and down in life because problems of drishya, what is seen, what is perceived, because we saw that during the analysis, the body is seen, the mind is seen. How can I take the attributes of the seen onto the seer? It seems an impossibility, but it happens all the time, and that is what is called samsara. So what we see in Vedanta is that you don't need to rub out the numbers to see equality. You don't need to rub out 5 plus 4. You don't need to rub out 108 minus 99 to see the equality. How can you see the equality? It is here, cognitive only. You know, a jnani will know, despite seeing the differences externally. A jnani, a wise person, enlightened being will know both sides equal 9. And knowing that, he can live very happily with the differences on both sides. He can live very happily knowing Ishvara is omniscient, omnipotent, everything. And he can live very happily with his limited physical body, because all physical body, mind, senses will be limited by nature. Upadhis will be limited. But he can be very happy with that fact. So this is what he does in the next section. Very beautiful to find out what that tat is. Tat pada vichara, we call it in the Shastra, the inquiry into Bhagwan. The other side, inquiry into the Lord. Who is this Lord? This Lord is tat. A stands for the cause of everything. This cause of everything is equal to tvam, you, the samsari, the jiva. So there's anything intelligently put together, what does it presuppose? It presupposes intelligent being with all knowledge and all skill. You look at this universe, any object you take, there's intelligence behind it. It is all knowledge. No human being can make this beauty in nature. How does the sun stay in its place? How do the planets revolve around the sun? How does everything function? All the water cycles, all the orders, nitrogen cycle, all the cycles of creation that keep us alive, that keep this planet going. Who decides that the trees breathe in our carbon dioxide and release oxygen? Amazing. Amazing that we have all these orders, cycles that are happening. We don't even stop to think about this miracle. And it is intelligence. It is pure intelligence. And if it's anything intelligently put together, it implies there is an intelligent being with all knowledge, all skill. And that is what we call nimitta karanam, the intelligent or efficient cause of this universe. This is our understanding of Bhagavan, understanding of the Lord in Vedic understanding. God in our culture is not a matter for belief. We have to be very, very clear here. In other traditions and maybe other religions, he's a matter for belief. We're just told God works in mysterious ways. You have to believe it. No, here in our Vedic culture, he has to be understood, and that is why God is unfolded. Ishvara is unfolded. So the power to create has to rest with the powerful, the one who has the power. So you say Gatakarta, the maker of a pot, Gatadnyaha, Gatakarta, the maker of a pot, has to have knowledge of the pot, right? You cannot make something you have no knowledge about. Bread Karta, if you want to make bread Nyaha, you have to have knowledge of bread. So in the same way, Bhagavan is called Sarvajnyaha, the knower of everything. Sarvasya Karta, the maker of everything, is the knower of everything. So Tat Padavachyam, the immediate meaning of the word Tat is Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha, the Lord, Jagat Karanam, the cause of this universe. That is the immediate meaning of Tat. And the immediate meaning of Tvam is you, the individual, the Jiva. And this Asi is the equal sign in between both of you. Now that is going to be unfolded. How can they equal each other? And how does Ishvara manifest in the Jagat? So he manifests the Jagat. First of all, we saw that the Shrishti Prakarana in the Tattvabodha again, how the 5 subtle elements come into manifestation. Very, very technical way of seeing how this creation happens. But the question comes, how can pure consciousness, because we know so far Ishvara is pure consciousness, limitless consciousness, without any doership. He cannot be a doer because no attributes, no doership. But how does he become a doer? We give him the title creator, preserver, dissolver. And we give these titles names. Brahmaji, creator. Lord Vishnu, preserver, sustainer. Lord Shiva, dissolver. We give this Ishvara titles depending on his work functions, what he does in this universe. But at the same time, Shastra says, Bhagavan is non-doer. He is not a karta. So the question is, how does pure consciousness gain the status of creator, sustainer, and dissolver? How does he do it? That is what he says in the next verse. Shakti dvayam hi mayaya vikshepa vritti rupakam vikshepa shaktirlingadi brahmandantam jagat srijet. So creation is now analyzed in order to understand Tat. From this verse up to verse 21, creation, samsara, cause for bondage, cause of limitation, cause for sorrow, and the solution is also given. So it all starts from the macro level. He says, Mayaya Shakti Dvayam. For this Maya Shakti, there is twofold Shaktis, twofold powers for Maya. You might have heard what this word Maya very wrongly understood as illusion. It is not illusion or delusion or anything like that. You'll understand it clearly now. Maya has 2 powers. One is Avritti, Avarana Shakti. Avarana Shakti is a power to conceal. She has a power to conceal. And Vikshepa Shakti, she has the power of creating as well, projection. So concealment is one power of Maya. Projection is another power of Maya. Now I say she because that is how always Maya is depicted as the female. So Brahman and Maya we see together all the time. All the deities, all our Puranas, all our culture is this depicted in physical form. All our gods have consorts. What does that mean? It means this is the masculine and feminine aspects of the universe. They come together. We have Brahma, Saraswati, Vishnu, Lakshmi, Shiva, Parvati. This is this Brahman and Maya principle coming together, depicted in this physical form as well. So this feminine aspect of creation has two, Avarana Shakti, the power of concealing, and the power of projection as well. And in Srishti, in the creation, Avaranam and Vikshepa are both there. Why? Because they are what accounts for all the differences you see. The question is, are there really any differences? Well, if you're studying Advaita Vedānta, which is non-dual teachings, definitely there are no differences. But at the same time, I see so many differences. People are different from me. Objects are different from me. Everything seems different from me. What is responsible for these differences? So this is where Shastra says Maya Shakti is responsible. She, with her Avarana Shakti, her power to conceal, she hides the reality of this Jagat from you. She hides the reality, the truth of this universe from your eyes, from your mind. That so many things we don't know in creation because of her Avarana Shakti. The unmanifest and unknown are because of Avarana Shakti. But Avaranam, which is the power of concealing, the power of veiling the truth, it can go. How can it go? It can go by knowledge. When knowledge dawns, we call that enlightenment. What does that mean? Avarana Shakti of Maya no more bothers you. It can no more trouble you. So enlightenment is actually when Avarana Shakti is removed from your eyes, and the same thing you see in such a different light. It is exactly the same Jagat, but your vision was rooted in name, form and function. Suddenly when Avarana goes, what happens? The truth of this universe is seen when Avarana is not there. So Avaranam works on the individual level, on the individual mind, and it is opposed to knowledge. Vikshepa works on both levels. Vikshepa means the power to project. She projects this universe. She projects this creation. That is the power. Again, Brahman and Maya should not be seen as two separate entities. We have to be clear here. The power, does the waving, if I wave my hand, does the waving of the hand, is it separate from the hand? The waving of the hand is not separate from the hand. In the same way, Maya is like the waving of the hand. Brahman is the hand. These two are not separate from each other. So one is the power, one is the powerful. In whom does the power rest? It rests in the hand. The waving belongs to the hand. This is how universe also functions. Consciousness doesn't create. It is the power behind consciousness that create, and that power is called Maya. So at the time of creation, at the level of Ishvara, only the projecting power of Maya operates. It projects this universe consisting of so many individuals and the entire cosmos. It makes everything look so many and so vast, so many species, every country you go, especially if you watch even just one program of David Attenborough, how many years he's been showing this country, this creature, this bird, that, so many different varieties of things. How does that happen? It is because of Vikshepa Shakti of Bhagavan. That is the power of Bhagavan to create all the differences. And on the individual level, the concealing power of Maya operates and covers the truth of creation, Avarana Shakti. So all knowledge, this whole Jagat is all knowledge because of Maya Shakti. She gives the status, Jagat Karana Brahma, because Upadi, Maya Upadi, the Maya with the Brahman is seen, makes Bhagavan into a creator, makes Bhagavan into sustainer, makes Bhagavan into dissolver of this universe. But what is Maya in fact? Maya, is it really true? That is the question that we keep asking. It is not really as real as we think it is. That is the whole thing. When Maya conceals, what is it? She is Mithya. Mithya means a reality word which helps you to understand what you experience in your life. What you experience in life, is it really as true as you think it is? That is a question that we ask. Maya makes it look like it's real. But any object you take, what have we seen? You break down any object. What does it come down to? More and more parts, more and more parts, more and more parts. And until finally you get to atoms, then you get to quarks, then you go further, further, further. Where do you end up? Maya makes it look solid. Maya makes this whole Jagat look solid. In fact, it is like a hologram. Whole universe is actually hologramic. Nothing is as solid as you think. It is projected on that screen of Brahman. This whole Jagat is a projection, actually. But we think it's solid. We hold solid things because anything we're going to see in science. What is mass? What is matter? Matter is anything that has mass, right? So we feel this is heavy, this has mass, this is solid. But you look at it, you break it down. Cognitively, you can break it down. You don't have to break every pot or anything in your house to see. Don't go around smashing things to say, oh no, Vedānta class, we have to do this. No. Cognitively, you break it down. Look, it is not as solid as you think it is. And this is what Maya, the trick that Maya plays. That's why we call her, the temptress. She makes everything look so real, so appealing in life. So the whole creation is manifest and unmanifest creation. All the karmas, the jivas, experiences that you have to go through, it is Maya Vikshepa. She creates the situation. You have to face it. And what is the truth? Matter can never be created or destroyed. This is the truth of science as well. Matter, Maya is matter. Matter of this universe can never be created or destroyed. Bhagavan says in the second chapter, Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidananyeva tatraka paridevana. This whole universe, what is this life? Things come into manifestation, they last for a length of time, and then they go back into unmanifest condition again. All due to Maya Shakti. On the macro level, Maya Shakti brings all into manifestation, makes things last for a length of time, then she resolves everything as well. So there's a saying in the Shastra, Mayam tu prakritim vidyat, which means the material for this creation is because of Maya. Maya Shakti is the material for the creation. But who is the wielder of Maya? It is the magician behind the whole trick of this universe. It is Maheshwara, the Lord Maheshwara is the wielder of Maya. He's the controller of Maya. He cannot be influenced by Maya. He's not deluded by Maya. And how does he create? Bahusyam prajaye yeti, which the Upanishad says. He makes the one into as though many. The one becomes as though many. We call that the Big Bang, actually. That is what happened. In science, they say Big Bang, but that is in the Shastra, in our Upanishads, it said Bhagavan desired, his desire awakened the power within him called Maya, which projected this universe of names and forms and functions. So the whole universe is seen with a set of parents now. Brahman, father, he is our dad. Maya, mummy, Maya's mother. So whole, everybody has a set of parents. We see that Ishvara, Maya together. And there's the original dad. There's no original dad other than Brahman. He is the original dad. There's no dad beyond that dad. That's why he's called the causeless cause. He doesn't have a dad. Sometimes we go back. Who is the granddad? Who is great-granddad? No, he doesn't have great-granddad. He stops. Brahman is the original dad for this universe. And we cannot deny the Jagat. Just because Maya, it seems like everything's solid. Everything in this Jagat enjoys a degree of reality. That is because of Maya. Maya brings this degree of reality also to this Jagat as well. Everything has a function, name, form, function. I can't say it's functionless. If I pick up a book, it has a function, right? If I hold a book, it's paper. I can read the book. I can understand the book. It's knowledge. But what's the truth of the book? It is nothing but paper. Paper is the satyam of the book. The mithyatvam of the book is the name and form. The mithya means dependent reality. The name form book, which has a function of giving me knowledge, whatever book it is name and form. But what is it dependent on? It is dependent on satyam, paper. It is dependent on paper. So that exactly like that. The Jagat is like that. the material, all of matter, the material in this universe, all the atoms, the elements, everything we see, nothing can be alive, nothing can come to life without Brahman as the basis as well. So Maya is the potential seed form for this entire universe, not an independent reality. She is the immediate cause for this Jagat. She is non-separate from Brahman, and she is called Parinami Upadana Karanam, which means she makes changes in the world. She as like a seed changes into a tree. Why? How does a tree grow from a seed? Because of Maya Shakti, because of Maya Shakti, the power behind Maya. How does milk, the Shastra gives example, milk, how does it turn to curd? The milk turns to curd because of Maya Shakti. That is exactly this, called Parinama Upadana Karanam. She has the material cause that changes as well. So he says here, Vikshepa Shaktir Lingadi Brahmandantam Jagat Srijet. This subtle universe and the gross universe up to the entire cosmos, the end of the entire cosmos is a Vikshepa, is because of her Shakti of projection. It is created. And this includes the 5 elements, the 14 lokas, 7 up, 7 down, narakas, the 7 hells, 7 heavens, the gross bodies of human beings, the subtle bodies of human beings. Maya Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti brings everything into manifestation. Otherwise, everybody is in dormant form like a seed. You return to dormant form and you are not differentiated. So when everybody is unmanifest, we'll all be together in one big lump. All our Karana Shariras together. There will be no differentiation. Where is the question of fighting with each other there? We'll all be lumped together as one whole. It is only Maya Shakti that differentiates us, that makes us look different from each other. So Maya, Brahman blesses Maya by its mere presence for it to create. Like the presence of sun brings everything to life. Because of Brahman's blessing, consciousness blessing, Maya evolves. Matter changes. Matter evolves. And this is how this universe comes into being. He says these 2 Shaktis are there. But the reality is what? Brahman can exist without Maya, but Maya cannot exist without Brahman. She is a dependent reality. She is dependent on Brahman. How do we say that? Because clay plus clay pot is still clay, right? Clay plus clay pot is still clay. If you break the pot, clay still is. Clay still exists. Fabric plus shirt is still fabric. If you destroy the shirt, fabric still is. So fabric exists independent of the shirt. Gold plus gold ornament remains gold. You destroy the gold ornament, gold still remains. In the same way, consciousness cannot be destroyed. Only names and forms and functions are destroyed, but everything returns back to its cause. And that cause is the cause of the thing. So nobody really dies because you return. Everything is just an effect. All the effects come back to the cause ultimately. So this is how our universe works. This is how, he says, this is how everything works. Now, just to quickly go into the next verse, I'm not going to spend too long on it. We'll see it next time. But he says here, very beautiful example. He says, Srishtirnama Brahma Rupe Satchitananda Vastuni Abdho Penadivat Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. This whole world is a manifestation of unchanging, limitless consciousness. How does this world come into appearance? So he's saying here, what is creation? What is this universe? How does it manifest? So he uses an example, very beautiful example, Abdhau Penadi Vatsarva, like on the ocean. You see waves, you see breakers, you see bubbles, you see froth, you see foam. Small waves, you see big waves, you see rising waves, you see breaking waves. Everything resolves back into the ocean. Everything becomes one with water again, only to rise again in the water. And this is exactly what happens in life as well. On this consciousness, limitless consciousness, Brahman, all these names and forms, this whole Jagat, it rises like the waves, all different, the form, the breakers, different wave sizes. Some are big waves. The little wave may look at the big wave and say, my God, look at that tidal wave. Look at me. I'm tiny, weeny little wavelet. Look at that huge 100-meter wave. But all, what is it? All are rising within the ocean. Every single name and form content that he said here, Penadi Vatsarva, like the foam, the breakers, all of this, the content is what? Nothing but water. Everything, whatever size anything is, whatever name, shape, form anything is, the content is nothing but water. And this is exactly what the universe is like. There's so much variety, so many different types of people, so many things we see. But the essence of everyone, that is what Vedānta says, the essence of everyone is Atma, consciousness, Brahman. Just like the waves on the ocean, Satchitananda Vastani, on this limitless existence, consciousness, all of this world, universe is projection on that one truth. And the essence of that one truth, Brahma Rupe, he says, is the same essence as in each single thing in this universe. So with that, I think we will leave it for today because that needs a bit more unfoldment. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.